Spiel. Here we go. After Action Report with special guest, Misbehavin'.
Coming to you straight out of exile, a crazy motherfucker named Crow Bennett. Some serious After Action Report.
All right. Well, we're here, and there was some kind of glitch on the intro. I don't know if it's gonna what it's gonna look like on the playback. Today we're doing Operation Poe. But what does that even mean? What is After Action Report? After Action Report. Welcome to After Action Report, where gaming meets strategic review. We're unearthing, me and Misbehaving, the unified gaming reports, and coming back into compliance, because we need to be compliant with a twist of gaming humor and global camaraderie. We have friends all over the world we play games with. We're very lucky. In this series, we're not just gaming, we're learning, growing, and having a blast along the way. And how you want to define blast is up to you. Whether it's surviving zombie hordes, conquering intergalactic empires, or questing through mythical realms, our adventures have been as diverse as the gaming groups from across the globe that join us. That is true. Expect epic gameplay, moments of sheer brilliance, and only occasionally, facepalm moments. But most importantly, a sense of community. We'll dive into the virtual battlefield, explore the cosmos, and venture into the unknown, all while keeping the gaming spirit alive. So man your battle stations, put on your headsets, and join us for After Action Report, where every session is a mission, every game a new adventure, and every laugh a testament to the enduring power of gaming. Exile has been around for 14 years. Can you believe that?
14?
It'll be 14 in February.
Man, I guess you could. The old time flies when you're having fun applies here.
I got some interesting stuff before we get into here.
Sure.
Here it is. So, I use AI for stuff. We've been playing with AI and having a blast. And I know Hollywood hates AI, but I don't really care. Hollywood likes a lot of things that are pretty effed up.
Well, what kills me about that is they're not willing to pay writers and the background actors anything worthy. You know what I mean? And then so they hate AI, which takes jobs away from certain things.
So you mean to tell me that some big Hollywood actor doesn't want to get paid what a background actor gets paid? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not sure what I'm telling you. I just think it's ridiculous that the studios.
That's something that I've thought of, like, you know, the protests and stuff, especially from the actor side. It's like, well, we don't want our image being used over and over and over and over and over again. It's like,
Right.
well, what the hell do you think BG is, bro? And why aren't they compensated more fairly? I mean, I'm not talking about making millions of dollars, but compensate them. Their image is being used and will be worldwide in perpetuity if they, you know, publish it. So, yeah. Anyways,
I guess one of the things that I've noticed about Hollywood recently is the poor script writing. It's really prevalent these days, and it has a lot to do with the real script writers are now no longer accepting jobs unless they get paid a certain amount, or the studios are refusing to pay the good script writers what they're asking for, so they hire people that do a lesser job. And so there's like a war going on. I don't know which side I agree with yet, but I feel like Hollywood's suffering because somebody's not happy with where they're at, and there isn't a balance of money being distributed, so people aren't doing as good of a job, and it shows. It really, really shows.
Oh yeah. I just keep thinking and hearkening back to, 2000, 2001, 1999 through 2001, and the music
Probably the
industry.
best year in movie and TV cinema as well.
And did, I'm not going to try and talk trash about the film industry, but the film industry has got a lot of trash in it. So how do you not talk about the trash when there's so much of it there? And they didn't care about. They're like, okay, we'll do sync now. We'll do sync, and that'll be your thing, and you can go to Congress and fight for DMCA 1 and 2, but good luck raising the millions of dollars and getting record executives to invest in that. No, they're going to take their money and run. And I'm waiting kind of for some of these big Hollywood people to start doing that, especially with all of the things that have been happening over there with Danny Masterson, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis. I saw something today that made me okay, having been someone who was a part of that organization, I know how meticulous things are, even outside the organization. So, like when someone starts to show up in optics, in like public appearances or interviews around the same time of something else, or timed in a certain way, it's to increase their optic to, in case,
I
in case
understand.
anyone thinks that they might have been up to it too.
Right.
And then there are others who will just skedaddle. There's a lot of them in the music industry that did the same thing. But I fed an AI all of my channels information, so every single channel that I have, and so there's 5 videos that it suggested that we do, or that I do. And one of them is evolution of survival games. A look back all the way back to Fallen Earth, which I thought was kind of interesting. Fallout mod preferences, but the one that caught my attention the most was building a gaming community. My journey with Next Corvus Alliance. Share your experience building your own guild in Fallen Earth and how it grew into a community of survival gamers. And that sentence kind of like hit me harder than I thought it might have, because like it's, yeah, okay, survival gamers, but like not only are we survival gamers, but many of us still keep in touch. It's just like the group is surviving still, even if it's in small. It's like a species, like when they're very sparse, and they're holding on to whatever life force they can until a time where they can flourish again. But this could be a great way to connect with your audience on a personal level. And yeah, I think that would be something fun to do if you would be into doing that with me. Because I did the whole podcast thing. And in the middle of the podcast, Anchor got bought by Spotify. And so now my shit's split. So people who would want to listen to it or have a harder time finding it. And we can put it on the website and whatever, but I just wanted it to be easy for people to find. So the game we're going over is a game you haven't played. It's called Ready or Not. And the description on the website says Ready or Not is a realistic tactical first-person shooter set against a backdrop of political and economic instability in the United States. You are placed in the boots of Judge, an elite squad commander being tasked with diffusing tense, hostile situations in a morally bankrupt city. The city actually kind of looks a lot like LA. Ready or Not, that was a description. So it's squad-based tactics, and it's hard. This video, the audio, Misty pointed out before we went live, it's very hard to hear my voice. So in the future, I'm going to try to crank that up. And we've got 3 videos to go through. They're each about 10 to 20 minutes long. Or we could just go through one and do this again tomorrow or whenever. Like we could spread them out. We don't have to do them all in one. Because if we watched one, that would put us at about 30 minutes, maybe, if we did it right. What do you think?
I'm sure with commentary, it'll probably go up from there. So
yeah, that's the thing.
We'll see how the first one goes. Maybe
Yeah.
we could take a break after the first one and decide whether we want to do a second.
Cool. Sounds good. And make sure you got audio. Yeah?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
My main problem right now is the only way I'm seeing the video is on an extremely long delay on the
Stream?
stream, yeah. I am not seeing it on.
Oh, hold on. I got to share it. Derp.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go, buddy. I must have had to reboot before we went on the YouTubes. Okay, so sound, roll, speed.
Everything good.
Go. All right, so this mission is Los Sueños. That's the name of the city, Los Sueños. And I forget what sueño means. Do you know, Miss B?
Man,
Sueño?
I probably could if I dug deep in my California Spanish, but nope.
What does sueños mean in Spanish? It means dreams, city of dreams. So you couldn't really paint a more direct picture.
It's definitely it's LA.
It's
yeah.
LA. All right,
Yeah.
so this is after let's go to LA. All right, cool. The operators are myself, Rolling 1247, Flying 08, and Cab. Well, he calls himself V-Cab now. Vincente Cabrera. We met him in this game. He's a hell of a shooter.
Nice.
We'd love to see him and Ganji do some work to get, like, really do some work. Some nasty shit. All right, here we go.
Interesting name.
Greased palms, yeah.
Yep.
So this is barricaded suspects. There's different mission types. The only mission available. Interesting thing about this game is the
probably a shield guy.
okay.
I
Rolling. Me or Flying. I'll take it. I'll take the point. I'll put my camera on whoever's right behind me.
Suspects have a...
Okay, so I'm letting everyone know that I'm going to put my camera on the person that's right behind me. And this is from my point of view. There's Roland at the door. We equipped someone that could check for traps. We wanted to make sure no one died from traps. I said, Vinny, you want to watch the left and Flying watch the right. I got my camera on rolling. If Vinny and Flying on each other, rolling,
I don't know how you do that.
is it clear? They hit.
Yeah, the door's clean, no motion inside.
So I was trying to give Flying hadn't played this in a long time, so I was trying to give him some information on how to operate the game.
How many ops have you done before this mission?
We met. We just set a time, and it was 10 o'clock Central Time, and everybody kind of rolled
I
in.
meant in general, like you don't have to give me a specific number, but like since you've been playing the game, how many ops do you think you'd done before this mission?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh God,
And
probably.
or you as a group?
I've done. I'd say at least 50, if not double that. It's hard to tell because
And,
sometimes I stay up late and play for 4 hours or something.
and as a group?
Probably with full groups, not enough really. Like this is probably the 6th or 7th, or maybe it's within single digits probably of full groups.
I was curious. I don't know like how this game plays out, but I'm just curious. Do you think you guys are planning too long at the door and not making a breakthrough soon enough? I don't know how it's going to play out, so I was just curious.
Yeah. You never know how it's going to play out in Ready or Not. The AI is actually really interesting and fun, and unpredictable. Really unpredictable. So the goal, or your objective, which gets into the after action report stuff. Objectives, that's number one. So the objective is to neutralize all of the barricaded suspects, and they have a sub goal that's like if you arrest someone who is a sussy person, and the number one goal is to do that without killing anybody. So it gets hard because some of these scenarios have a lot of armed people, whether it's guns or knives, and the people with knives, like it's very realistic. If you stab someone in the neck with a knife, that bulletproof vest ain't gonna stop the bleeding.
Nope.
So this is a post office, and I don't really know the story behind the situation and the scenario, but there are active gunmen in the post office, and then there are also collaborators with them, and then there are also civilians. So the goal is to make sure that everyone survives and gets arrested and all that. All right, so yeah, we're about to breach here from the front.
Hold down T.
I'm opening the door. Breach. Is it too loud in your headphones? I turned it up to 100%.
It's
I can
it's
turn
not
it back
too
down
loud.
to 80.
There we go.
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground now.
That's fine.
Put your hands up.
So there's a button you press, Misby, that basically is a cop saying get on the ground, try to neutralize people. And so when you hear that, just so that you don't ask me later, like what the fuck? Why is who's saying that? That's got to be one of us saying it.
Hands where I can see them.
Hands up. Do it now.
I reported a civilian on the ground. Alright. Vinny, you want to cover the left? You're already on it. Thanks, Jeff. Vinny was already on my left. Okay. Check the
Police,
door.
get down. Hands where I can see them.
We want to talk about that?
The dying noises. Oh my god.
They synced up. That rarely happens. That's actually kind of cool that we got that. I want to back up a little bit and hear that again.
Hands where I can see them.
Well, you stopped covering your angle to watch what other people that should be capable of handling their situation, like you were micromanaging their stuff, and you left yourself with your back turned to an entry point.
Yeah. That's absolutely correct. I did. And what happened?
Yeah, you got shot in the back and you're all screwed up.
You know, we have a friend who used to say the precise moment that you relax your anus is the exact moment. How do I say this on YouTube without
Right?
you can't? Okay. Well, we'll just go on.
I think I killed
The
him.
suspect is expired.
Roland's not rolling and flying. I think I killed him. All right. Vinny and Roland, you guys go up in that room.
Right, and your objective was not to kill them.
Well, that's the thing about this game is that there are like your objective is not to kill them. How do you do it when you're being shot at?
Right.
It really is when I first started playing the game, I thought this was like almost some sort of like back the blue positive like you want to have a game, see what people really go through, and
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
They're showing you a real life scenario where your objective is not to kill somebody, but you're left with no choice when they start shooting at you.
that's right. And even with as much guns as you got, and you got people with you, you still have to make these split-second decisions, and it is effective at doing that.
Sure.
And
I think I got an opinion about that in the overall scheme of real world, but that's not for this video.
Gotcha. Yeah. Because I mean, one of the things that we did this with the intention of having a YouTuber Poe on the Go do an after action report. But what I want to be able to show him is like how you can go through the entire game without killing someone, and then sort of get his feedback on that. I know he's got a lot of history in the police force, so and law enforcement, and he hasn't heard of this game, and I thought that would be interesting, but not this video. This is because I have a feeling that if he saw this, he'd be like, what is going on? Like, this is ridiculous. And he may still do that anyway. But if we are able to actually go in and do a mission and handle ourselves in a way that is, to not immediately consider anything in the environment hostile when there is hostile things in the environment. See, that's the thing that I think of when you walk into any of these missions. Like, over time, over the last year or two, I've been playing this game. Like, you're going into a hostile area, but there's going to be civilians there. So you have to train yourself to not have the trigger finger.
Right.
And that can get you killed.
Action. Well, and that actually goes to speak to the situation where you turned your back to an entry point.
Yeah.
And you were forced to get into a gunfight because you didn't have it covered initially.
Right. Right.
You could have maybe done whatever the game mechanic is to tell them to surrender without gunshots being fired.
And also, I'll point out that I heard voices in that room talking, and I didn't report it, but they were arresting people. And when you're arresting someone, you're completely vulnerable, basically. So,
I see.
Yeah. And Flying couldn't figure out how to arrest the dude because he hasn't played in a while. So there was a logistical error there, just, on the personal end on his computer. But, copy that. All right. Vinny and Roland, you guys go up in that room. So I asked Vinny and Roland to go clear that side, and it would have been me and who was it for? Flying. But let's see what actually happened. So And they did hear me, even though you can't hear it in this video very well. I asked Vinny and Roland to go on that side because there's 2 ways to clear here. So we're going to push forward in a formation, essentially. I'll watch.
I can't get this one restrained for some reason.
So he's having a technical difficulty. Someone just popped out of a door right there. He can't get the person restrained. This is something in the game that you actually want to do as soon as you get someone to surrender, because at the end of the mission, you get points deducted, and you can't even finish the mission if you don't
have them restrained.
If you don't rescue all the civilians and eliminate all the threats or arrest them. So it's in your best interest that you go slow, clear, tie people up, make sure they're not going to pull a knife on you.
So this is essentially SWAT training.
What is? Oh yeah, basically, yeah. So I go into the locker room. Someone comes out of the door. And
does this game have a shoulder mechanic where you can switch shoulders?
You mean Q&E?
Right. So if you're right now, it's on your right shoulder, and you went around and shot, exposing your entire left side to shoot that guy instead of switching to your left shoulder.
Oh no, you can't do that. No.
Yeah. See, that's
an
important tactic. Yeah, I mean that's kind of important when you're doing tactical games.
Yeah.
Nice shooting, by the way.
Checking the bathroom. Thanks. Shots.
Help!
Hands up, above your head.
Fuck off! Okay, I'll do anything!
Ahead of you,
Hands up, do it now.
Whoops.
Get down.
So it looks like Vinny was the only one that went on the other side, so he cleared the mailroom by himself, and then Roland and Flying just kept pushing up behind me after I went into this bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see hands.
Copy that entry.
So while it's not a terrible thing, it just wasn't what the doctor ordered, right?
Vinny's all alone, and then there's 2 guys going solo.
Good to go for evac.
Right.
We have a suspect
Copy
down
that.
here. Need
Trailers
medics
in.
ASAP.
Copy. Yeah.
And that was the
And
room that Vinny
None of this
cleared.
cleared.
No, Vinny cleared just that area that I just looked at. Vinny had already cleared.
Oh, he totally flanked completely around coming through this way.
Yeah, I wanted 2 guys going through there and 2
Because
guys
I saw Vinny going in a different direction when you breached that first door, where the first 2 guys came out and shot you. Vinny went off to the left through the sorting room and then came up through this way.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Bathroom's clear.
All right. Point up.
All right, you guys are communicating.
Yep. So we had cleared everything up to that point, and now we're about to breach the warehouse and sorting area. This is a mail sorting room. Or, I'm sorry, a distribution center, mail distribution center.
Yeah.
At least one armed gunman behind this door here.
Alright, great. So he was able to tell me that because of the mirror gun. And
Okay.
And so he mirrored underneath the door and saw that there was at least one armed gunman. And opened fire. This door's locked.
Whoa, where's that?
So there's gunfire. We're not communicating really yet because I am focused on my task at unlocking this door because I know there's an armed gunman right there. But what likely we hear gunshots from the other door. He may have run to the other door and kicked it open. I'm not sure.
Right.
Unlocking the door. Rolling.
One suspect down.
All right, good. Okay, Vinny engaged. I would be willing to bet you anything. Vinny engaged with that guy and didn't let us know. He just because he just reported that one suspect down.
Right.
You see anything? But I don't know where he's at. Vinny,
I'm assuming he's to your right.
be last man. All right, so I'm going to the upstairs. I'm letting them know that I'm going upstairs. At this point, we're doing pretty decent, except for having to kill people. Everyone's got cover. I'm moving forward with the shield. I'm going to go upstairs. I want to clear from the top to the bottom. There's only this. It's like an office that's upstairs, and I wanted to clear that so that no one would be coming down and just, you know, blapping us.
I think I heard.
So on Flying's cam up in the top right, he's following me up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got someone on my 6.
Something.
And then Roland responded, and he comes up. He's going to mirror it.
The suspect has expired.
Multiples, one civilian.
Roger that.
Suspect
Continue.
is free.
All right, so he reports there's multiple hostiles and one civilian.
But I'm down on your knees. Police, hands in the air.
Hands up.
And I almost shot the civilian.
I saw that. That was pretty good trigger discipline, though.
But
Hey,
was
you
it
were
on purpose?
you were on target, but you didn't fire.
Oh, I fired. But I
Oh, you
didn't
did?
hit him.
Oh, it went over his right shoulder, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought I saw that, but I wasn't positive.
Let's see this again.
The suspect has expired.
Multiples, one civilian.
Roger that.
Suspect is
Continue.
free. But I'm down on your knees. Police, hands in the
Hands
air.
up.
I hit fired and then I zoomed.
Yep.
Police, hands up.
Because,
You were nowhere near on target when you hit fired, so it's all
no, I
good.
wasn't. I also, when you open a room, sometimes it's the AI responds to aggression and also how many of you there are. So, like, if you're off alone somewhere, they'll, gang up on you. But if you are, and each individual NPC will do that. Like, if it has to do with the cone of fire range. And if you have 2 or 3 guys, some of these NPCs are extremely hostile. But you can still arrest them if you got 4 or 5 dudes yelling, pointing guns.
Right.
Which is kind of a cool feature in the game.
Police, hands up.
He shot me, man.
Get on the ground
Sit down, ready
now.
to go. Get down. I want to see down on your knees.
So,
Hands up now.
what I'd like to see when you breach a room is instead of opening the door and then taking a firing point from the door where you can't see to your peripherals and you can only see straight away, you pause and let the guy know that you're coming, so when you walk through, they're firing at you. They're prepared for you. I'd like to see you come in quicker and cover your left and right quicker. Be more assertive going through a door.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think that there's a mechanic, and it's probably on purpose, because if you got 2 or 3 SWAT guys trying to get through a door, it's not going to be easy.
Right.
So, like, entry and in order to do that, like, and Vinny has practiced this. Like, we've done it 2-man. We've done a lot of missions like 2-man, 3-man, and cleared them and gotten good scores on most of them. But when we first started playing, we had that sort of in the way that we did it. We would have first man, second man, third man, fourth man, last man. And however you communicate that is whatever. But the reason you communicate that is so that you can make quick entry, establish dominance, and no one's getting stuck in the freaking door like, who goes first? Because that really is an issue in this game. If two people trying to go through a door, not happening.
Right. You're both going to get shot.
You're going to get, yep.
You gotta cut him off.
Hands up.
So I tried to get that guy to surrender, and I yelled at him, and he shot, and I'd been shot, and I think he got a critical hit because I'm dead.
Yes, you are.
But let's
I think at this point, once the guns start flying, forget about the take them alive.
Yeah, well, let's see, he's
tactical vest. First thing I noticed.
Had I just opened the door and ran in and went right up to him and butted him with the gun, maybe.
Well, that's what I was saying. Be more assertive when breaching.
Yeah, right.
You weren't assertive. You stood in the doorway.
Yeah, I opened the door and I'm holding it.
6 feet
I'm
away.
not even holding my weapon trained. I'm just like, got the door open like, hey, bro.
Right.
And he's clearly a perp. So, yeah, more aggression would probably be good. Yeah.
Just more assertive.
Contact neutralized.
Commit to your resolve of what you want to do. I'm going in aggressively, but I'm trying to take them alive.
I think it's F.
Suspect is breathing. Hands up. But unconscious.
Copy. Clean house.
All right, so now we're watching Rolling. And he's a retired veteran.
Yeah, it's just telling her to get down.
Put your hands up.
He's the one that turned me on to this game.
Hands up.
So we cleared the upstairs. Now, this is the good news. I may have died. Okay, yeah, that sucks. And there's me points deducted. But I really wanted to clear that upstairs because I've run this mission enough to know that if you don't clear the upstairs, they come down and they start hiding in all the boxes. So, like, if you got it, taking 3 or 4 armed dudes out before you engage more makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you gotta get behind them.
Yeah.
And they do move
feel
around a lot, the NPCs. They'll move around and try to flank you and stuff.
I feel like when I play these kinds of games, I overdo that. But I don't know if that's a bad thing. Just cautious, don't want them to come in behind me.
That's what you want in this game. And I have to sort of like
corral these guys.
No, for my own self. Sometimes I have to hold myself back. You know what I mean? Because this ain't FE, man. It's just,
right. I mean, I've played these kinds of games with everybody also, and I just I find that everybody else just wants to go and shoot, and I'm always the cautious one going, well, we need to make sure they don't come in behind us, and then like I'm the one trying to cover the rear, and I totally get swamped by the guys coming in behind, and then they shoot everybody in front who are, clearing everything in front just fine because they're the operators, but they weren't tactically taking care of their flank. And then I get killed, and everybody blames me for coming in behind and shooting them all because I didn't kill 6 guys coming in behind. I don't know. It seems to be an issue. I am.
No, I mean I know what you're saying, and the that situational awareness of elements is like really a nice thing to be, a nice feature to have with other players that you play with.
Well, I love games like that where you have to, be more tactical about the way you plan your entry to something.
Right.
And so when you come through this door, there's clear stairway leading somewhere to your left.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the warehouse is off to the right. It's plain and simple to me that you need to go and clear upstairs first before you do the rest of the bottom floor.
Because you can visibly see how much bigger it is.
Right.
Right.
And once you get deep into that thing, anything coming down those stairways is going to be right behind you, and you're you're
could be
trapped. You're surrounded.
Yeah, and then multiple angles of fire. And, yeah, then now you're under fire from all kinds of, and then all you got to hide behind is this stuff. So, yeah. So they are back downstairs, and so as a spectator, I can flip between everyone's views, and I can basically be just a comm operator, you know?
Yeah, an extra situational awareness.
Right.
Still wrapping one up upstairs.
Bad guys?
There's flying.
Shut up, lady.
Yeah, don't you love it? Roland is just going wherever, and you guys are sticking together. You heard that?
Yeah, criticizing Roland for his Rambo maneuvers.
Yeah, he was going down. They're still upstairs, but to Roland's point, like in his mind, he's probably like, this shit's clear. You know?
Right, because you were supposed to clear it earlier.
Well, I died. They killed the guy. They sweep the rest of the area. It was clear.
Right.
But they were up there arresting. Vinny and Flyan were up there arresting and tagging people. Roland wasn't doing much of that. He's I'm down. I think maybe I'm down, and now Roland's a little like, you know, heightened alert. Because we're down a guy, maybe.
Right.
Because that's something that I would do, bro. Like I would, if the guys are upstairs and we've cleared it and they're arresting people. Like if I'm still Point, like Point is gonna go and check. You know, like that's what a point man does. So he basically took over Point, but he wasn't letting anyone know. He's just kind of doing his thing. You know how Roland do. Everybody got water.
There was another room downstairs.
Oh, Roland should be Point. He's just gonna go. You got a whole bunch of shit to clear.
I can't see shit.
Alright, open the door.
Watch the left.
Get down and show me your hands.
Great trigger discipline there. Nice operation.
Hands where I can see them. Get down and put your hands up.
Okay, bad trigger discipline.
Right.
It's like, bitch won't listen.
I feel like this is one of those things where you can come
It
closer.
worked though. Look, she on her knees.
Oh yeah, I would be in real life. I just think that you could come closer before you make the start making the arrest.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to do the firing because then they're intimidated.
Oh yeah, proximity and how many guns is definitely a thing. We tested that a lot. Because it was like, there were some really aggressive dudes, and I was like, you know, what if we all busted in there and started screaming at him and like not shooting him, but shooting around him, and one of us goes up there and just starts like jamming him with a rifle, and sure enough, it worked. It took a while, like he was a stubborn guy, but we were able to arrest him. You get a lot of points for that too.
Done. Zipped up and ready to
Roland's
go.
gonna make the arrest. Now I'm on Vinny.
Fuck.
And Flyan.
Restrained, ready for pickup.
Now this is a real precarious area, man. Let's look at this again. Just see if you can catch in your peripheral, you know, the layout.
Done. Zipped up. And
All right, so that's Vinny. He just was covering Roland.
ready to go.
Watch your left here, Vinny. But you see, you got a whole area over there. You got all this on the left. Flying is actually in a great spot to cover.
That's what I was just going to comment on. Is I thought his spot was the perfect spot to cover the left angle.
Mm-hmm.
Civilian restraint, ready for pickup.
Copy that. Trailers in.
Yeah. I wouldn't go in there the way you're going flying. I would run across. Clear it. So now we're on rolling.
Yeah.
Let's go back here. So flying.
I agree with your entry point decision because coming around with the left side being unknown.
Mm-hmm. Completely. And basically that stairwell is replicated on the other side because what you got is like a conveyor belt system for the mail.
Right.
And there's a whole lot that you couldn't possibly see maybe, or see shadows are a thing in this game too. So like people can hide really well. So I would have, I was trying to instruct him to go around the forklift and sort of like catch an angle from either the boxes or get behind that other blue.
Sure, but it was smart that Roland did that because then he didn't have to leave his left covering the right flank.
Right.
So Roland could come in from the right, but looks like flying started.
Yeah. Let's watch what he did because I switched cameras in the middle of him being fired on.
Right.
I wouldn't go in there the way you're going flying. I would run across. So you see, as soon as he pulled back and was trying to catch an angle of view, is whenever he started getting shot at. But Roland is in perfect position, really.
Agreed.
Look at him. All he sees is psh, 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 psh. No, he ain't hitting him. So now we're on Vinny. He's taking point. And then Flying's like, I'm gonna go hang out with Roland.
Got that guy.
And yeah, see, there was some gunfire coming from that area. So like his initial position was covering that area, Flying's was. And so Roland was covering that other position, that other angle. And then when Flying linked up with Roland, he's looking the wrong direction. Vinny's already looking in the direction he was being shot at, and Roland is as well. So he probably should have been keeping his sights in this area because he's got cover right here, right?
Yeah.
How do I reload?
And he realizes that very quickly. We're just breaking down the meta.
Yeah, I prefer. I mean, I guess this is the right way to do it so far, but I prefer clearing out segments. I would have cleared out this whole section before even attempting to get into the conveyor belt side.
Well, look at where we're at. So this is kind of the map.
Just opens up so much more.
This is where we came from. This was Flying is headed back from our entry point. Cool. So we've already cleared.
Yep, you're right. Yep.
So now you go back. But because the conveyor system and the distribution center is on that side, and we cleared the upstairs and we came downstairs, we ended up the direction that Flying is facing. And that means that anyone on the right side of the conveyor belt could have doubled back. And often these NPCs do move around a lot. They're not trying to get killed.
Roger that.
So he came from that side. All right, and now flip to Vinny's. They went outside. So now Flying is kind of just roaming around, backtracking, and Roland and Vinny are out here in the loading dock. They're separated completely. They're outside. You're inside. And I'm letting him know that they've been separated.
Yep.
Copy, EMTs and...
So Flying is being shot at, and he hasn't reported it yet. And Vinny and Roland...
I'm not sure if he knows where to report from.
That's true.
He doesn't seem to know where the shots are coming from.
Right, right. And he doesn't. He also doesn't know that Vinny and Roland went and subdued some suspects outside necessarily, because they didn't call that out either.
Right.
Great decision.
Yep.
Use the shield.
Yeah.
One down.
All right. So at this point, they are in a decent enough position, except that Flying is coming across when he should probably be staying over there. Now that Roland and Vinny have some decent angles going down the distribution center. And Flying just killed somebody. So Flying has pushed up, and now Roland and Vinny are probably going to push up as well. Or link up. This is such a dangerous spot.
Police, put your hands up!
Lost you Flying, holding up the base.
Vinny's trying to locate Flying. So he's letting them know.
We have a suspect down here. Need medics ASAP.
Copy, EMTs and...
All right, he got the dude subdued and cuffed, but he didn't get the weapon. You're supposed to get the evidence.
Roger that.
Oh, so you can pick up weapons?
Yeah, you pick them up. Like, see this little gun here? You would press F on it, and it would put it in an evidence bag.
Gotcha.
That gives you extra points. Like Vinny just did. Vinny basically, like, Roland went up and cuffed, zip tied the dude and reported him, and then Vinny came up behind him and was like, "You missed something."
Got a civilian down here. Need medics now.
Roger that. Medic...
That's actually probably more tactically sound than be the point man and do the evidence bagging. You should continue on being the point man while somebody behind you does the evidence collection.
Yeah, I mean, like, the last man or middleman would be good candidates for that.
Middleman, sure, yeah.
You can, the loadouts are really great in this game. Like, you can create so many loadouts, save them as presets, and so you can really trick out a team, and play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. Strategize.
Seems to be a lot of games like this.
Mm-hmm. There
Tactical.
are. There's a new one called 6 Days in Fallujah or something, or 7 Days in Fallujah, that is essentially this, but it is way more hardcore, I'm told.
Way more hardcore. There's no mini maps. There's no name tags. It's all trigger discipline.
Right. That's something I would like to check out.
Yeah, I would like to too. I just think it's a little above my capability of. You'd have to be like super involved, so, unless you're like a serious like meta Ratsky type killer, where you're just like so good at shooting.
Yeah.
I'd have to. I would be terrible.
Either that or move
I'd be
really
so
slow.
careful.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly the thing that you need as a player in this game. So
but this game that's actually probably a good thing. But in some of the other games, if you got like straight killers on your team and you're going slow because you don't want to be the guy that dies or screws up the team dynamic, you're gonna slow the team down.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like Yeah. So you just got to find your group that works with you, not drags you along or lags behind with you. You know what I mean? There's got to be the happy pace where you're all working at the same
I feel that. I feel, and
rhythm.
that's happened with me and Ash. Like sometimes I just can't keep up with the dude.
Right.
And
I've had that issue. Me
yeah,
and Ganji, me and Ratsky, and
hmm
Epo. Those guys just like go and they know exactly what they want to do and they execute it flawlessly. And I'm, being all, I don't want to be the nerd that holds us back because I'm dying all the time. So I get too cautious and I start. I don't progress as quickly. Even in games where it doesn't matter if I'm the last one across the line,
hmm
I don't earn as many points because they kill everything in front of me. So I'm just like following behind their trail of death. You know what I mean? So I don't
Not
get
only
any like
that,
experience.
in Warframe, Ratsky would try to show me how to get the these missions that are essentially platforming missions, and he'd be like, "Yeah, you just you do your jump and then you slide in the air and then you bounce off of this wall and then you fall down here and then you before you fall you make sure that you're gliding and then
Right.
you do one flip and then that's all you need to do." And I'm like, "Well, that's all I need to do."
Right.
Okay.
And how did they figure that out? That's what I want to know. Did they watch videos or did they just like figure that out on their own? I mean, come on now.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I
Hacks.
mean, Ratsky's like a living hack, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I couldn't when we played FE together. I couldn't believe his uh, abilities. It seemed unbelievable until I made him show me video
Oh
proof.
yeah, I
And I was like,
remember all that. Yeah, yeah. Well, when we do the what's it called, the building a gaming community, like man, we can really talk about a whole bunch of really cool shit like that because I remember like you wanted to duel Ratsky.
right.
It
I
wasn't.
did.
I
Well, I
mean,
made him duel me so he
right,
could record it and then show me back because
right.
we dueled all the time while we're out harvesting and territory control.
Yeah,
And we would duel because we'd start getting bored, and I always wanted to get better, so I would always fight the guys that were better than me. So I'd make Ratsky duel me, and
yeah.
he would just absolutely wreck me. And
Mm,
I'd like, there's times where I'd be like, I don't even know how you're doing this. Like,
mm-hmm.
and I was, at the level where normally when I got wrecked, I'd be like, I know where I made my mistakes. You know what
Right.
I mean? Or I
Sure.
know where he was better than me at. You know what I mean? It wasn't just, me making mistakes. There were people that were just genuinely better than me, and I would know exactly what. Ratsky, he would wreck me so bad I couldn't even assess what he did to
I
wreck me
know.
that bad.
I know. It's like getting whooped upside the head, and you're just like, what? It's like being sucker punched.
So I just didn't believe that he was actually straight up killing me. So I made him fraps it once and show it to me. I have the video of it.
Do you?
Yeah, I have the video of
Oh
me
my
and him
god.
fighting, and it's all commentary too. So you get to
Oh,
hear me and him talking to each other while it's going on.
we have to review that. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to review
that's a
that.
good one.
We need to back that up.
It's on my channel.
Great. All right. We ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Yeah. So the map ends right there, Vinny. You already know that. Flying, if you look to your right, that's where the map.
Suspect TO.
So I was just letting Flying know that's where the map ends, so you didn't have to worry about NPCs coming from past those dividers.
Good
Copy
communication.
that, entry team.
Helpful information.
Roger. Trailers.
So, how does it end?
Suspect killed.
Affirmative, entry team.
We still have some contacts at the scene and a couple more suspects to arrest.
Where do you see that?
All right, so Flying assumed that we had taken everybody out, and he was asking Roland, whose point, what, which is kind of back and forth. Vinny will take point, Roland will take point. there's objectives that you can press tab and you can see, and Flying didn't know about that, so he thought the mission was over, and then Roland reports that they still have contacts.
Affirmative entry team.
We still have some contacts at the scene and a couple more suspects to arrest.
Where do you see that?
Hold down tab and it gives you an objective list.
Moving past.
That that was kind of funny to me, just knowing Flying. Like, he's telling him, see, we're watching Flying right now. He's like, how do we know this is over?
So, how does it end?
Suspect killed.
Affirmative entry team.
We still have some contacts at the scene and a couple more suspects to arrest.
Where do you see that?
Hold down tab and it gives you an objective list.
Now, just like from a player perspective, I'm imagining him at the keyboard. Why is that popping up? I
Moving
don't
past.
Aha. When it's the aha moment is what it is. Aha. Oh, let me fix this shit. The aha moment. Okay. Why you no go away? There we go. Try not to get shot. All right, we're watching Vinny now. What were you gonna say?
Oh, your VLC player things popping up too much?
Oh, I fixed it already.
I saw that.
Get shot at.
Oh, I love it.
Suspect killed.
Roger, entry team.
Please get down.
So, they could have circled around to the front too. That's why. That was good convergence. Vinny pushed up and identified a body, and restrained it. Like, go straight. And then they all converged. Like, he got up ahead of them. You can do a lower ready and you can go faster. And he doesn't wear as many plates, but he also wears, actually, he wears as many plates as I do, but he wears ceramic plates so he can get around faster. And the other guys are wearing steel plates.
Iron. Yeah.
Go straight all the way back and clear, and then turn left at the end of this warehouse, and then flush back up, like kind of like you did in the parking lot. You go all the way to the front. There might be some people left, stragglers.
There's a Tom Clancy game, that Siege 6 or something. What's it called?
Oh, yeah. That's a game that a lot of players came from. I met a lot of players that played Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six, that's what it was. Yeah,
and
and
Ready or Not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
I used to watch like Jack Frags and those guys.
The AI is
that.
different, is what they said. The AI
Yeah.
is way different. Like, you can have, like, if you have a real tight squad in Rainbow Six, from what I've heard, like, you can run the missions and basically get good grades. But the thing is, in this, is that it's meant to be unpredictable. And there is these random chances that civilians will, like, attack you, either violently or non-violently. And there's also a lot of belligerent civilians that, you know, like, you're not arresting me, you know, like, I didn't do nothing. Shit like that.
The Rainbow Six was mostly PvP though. Like there was like the full on
that would be fun.
Mission based thing, but the PvP was teams of 4-on-4 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you would take turns being the red team, which was the assault team, and then there's the defensive team, and you would take turns, and it would be like, you know, best out of 5 or something, whoever, you know,
Right.
got the wins or whatever. So that's the way it went down, and it was a lot like this, but with player versus player instead of player versus environment.
Yeah.
But it's essentially the same concept.
Interesting. Well, yeah.
Payday
is it all?
Payday is the other one that's almost exactly like this, except you're crooks and you're trying to get away with robbing stuff.
Wow.
Which is fun on its own. It's
robbing banks, heists, stuff like that.
Yeah, banks, jewelry stores. It's pretty epic.
Jimmy checking his mag, always.
There's one guy behind here with the.
I have had it happen where I expended so many rounds and not checked my mag and run into a guy and go.
Yep.
It sucks.
Gun.
These hyper realism games are really good at doing that to you.
I'll blast him.
There you go.
3, 2, and
This is a fun thing to do in the game is battering rams.
I don't see anybody.
oh my gosh.
Now I believe that's his first like breach in this mission Operation Poe. That's flying, and Vinny banged the door, and flying went in.
Behind that soda machine.
And he saw in his peripheral, he said, behind that soda machine. So he was looking down that way, and Vinny went straight. And flying, let him know.
Right.
Let him know, hey, take out the guy. That was pretty dope. I want to watch that again.
Yeah, that was well executed.
I don't see anybody.
Oh my gosh.
Behind that soda machine.
We have a suspect
One down.
Need medics ASAP.
In the break room.
Copy. Clean house.
Yeah, that was good.
And Roland actually came in from a different side too and got a different angle.
Oh, nice.
You see?
Yep.
Just that.
Smart.
Yeah.
Never breaching one point.
Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Well, yeah, but if you have the opportunity,
Look,
definitely.
Dr. Pressure.
85?
Yeah, 1985. If you play enough of this game, it's kind of like the old school Arma stuff, where you get that Arma PTSD. You get the same shit in this. Like, people like to drink energy drinks. I met a lot of kids in 20s, 30s, playing this game actively last year, and you know, I mean, they were just hyped up. You know, like we used to get hyped up for PvP and stuff. To play this shit all night long.
Suspect is breathing but unconscious.
Copy.
And you know, it probably, you know, when you do stuff like that, you develop a muscle memory, and you play those long sessions. I think there's laws against that now in South Korea because it's a national sport. They have to, you can only do so long of a session.
Clean house.
Although I don't think they abide by it. They have those. They used to have cafes where they would go and.
Yeah.
We had a guy die at the damn computer because he wouldn't eat. Google it.
I'm sure that's happened. I've seen what those cafes look like.
It's crazy.
Like in the main room.
Oh, we got Roland now. Okay, what's Roland doing? He's checking. This is the area for the post office. This is the kitchen and bathrooms and lunch area. Which is actually, I worked for the post office, the United States Post Office, and if we'd have had something like this would have been amazing. Like, dope. But we didn't have this. This is a distribution center. The little post offices don't have much. Go sit in your car. Go to Popeyes or something.
Right.
So Roland's going to mirror the door. There's some gunfire to his left.
Down to the bathroom.
Roland gets a glimpse and then turns his head. See how fast that went?
Yeah.
And how quick he turns. That was a brutal fucking kill. Watch this again. Like, how his reflex was in that moment was, and his calm, cool demeanor, like cool heads prevail, right? Like he's doing the door, he's getting shot. Okay, where am I getting shot from?
Down to the bathroom.
He gets an audible down by the bathroom, and he looks, and then he looks at his potential. He could go in here, and there could be somebody in there. He's being shot at. Was that the same person? Yeah. Hold on. Let's watch that again.
Down to the bathroom.
No, you switch.
Oh, I did. Did I switch? Who did I switch to?
Flying and rolling. Flying's the one going into the room full of boxes.
Gotcha.
Ready evac.
All right.
Roger,
So
entry
he killed Vinny, I think. Yep.
We've got a dead
He killed Vinny. It's just not easy to do, so I don't feel as bad now in the mission because he killed. And I mean, I died early in the mission. I got 76 points. Vinny's got 104. He survived a lot longer than I did.
Right.
It's not a. I mean, it's not a contest. Vinny.
Copy, entry team.
Yeah, but if it was, he's winning.
All right. Yep.
All right.
So so now they have every mission when you have hostiles, the main objective is bring order to chaos. So that means neutralize. That doesn't mean kill, right? More points if you get them alive. You bring order to the chaos. And once all the hostiles are taken care of, now you have other objectives. If you've shot any civilians, you cannot complete that objective. It will not complete. And we did complete apprehend suspicious targets, which means people who are probably armed and who are telling the NPCs where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear them do that. They did that in the video earlier in the very beginning.
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, man, they're over here.
Yeah.
And so, which prompted the dude to come out and, shoot at me and whatever. So, that would have been a suspicious target, and he's probably dead. So that one's probably not completing.
I see. Rescue all the civilians and arrest suspicious targets are not completed. The rest of them all.
And some of them you can, if you don't do the mission right, you just won't complete those objectives, and it affects your grade.
So just
Now you just gotta rescue all the civilians and arrest suspicious targets. But you do have to look to make sure, or you want to look to make sure.
Right. Well, it's good intel because once you hit the arrest suspicious targets or whatever, the rest of it's just finding the civilians and the other.
Yeah, and that's probably something that you don't have in real life. You don't have we've got them all.
Right.
Start yelling.
Arms outstretched. Hands up now.
Do it now.
Does
they've
your
circled.
character just start shouting when you get in proximity of?
No. They're just, what they're doing is because they're looking for civilians.
Right.
Civilians, some of them will respond, but they want to know. They have fear programmed into them. So like some of them, and if they don't know if you are a cop or a bad guy, they're not going to say anything.
Right.
And some of the civilians won't even come out until all that stuff's over with. So you walk around and you press F, and you're.
So when you were walking by down this in front of this wall here, or when Roland was, and they started shouting, "Get your hands up" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Was that somebody else not on camera, like finding a civilian or a suspect?
No, that's just somebody in the team who's trying to get suspicious people or civilians to respond to verbal commands
I see.
after establishing order.
I see.
Go to the right side
There she is.
This one's secure.
That's the first girl, isn't it?
Yep.
Fuck.
Just doing my job, sir.
Roger. Trailers.
Sir. Oh, he's canceled.
Bam.
Boosh.
No, he should be not canceled because he didn't.
One.
Assume.
Right.
All right.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We did it. Oh my god. Oh look, we got all the objectives.
Did you see the name of the gang on the objective? It's the Los Locos.
So do I need to hit exit or something, or is it just going to stop?
Or wait a minute, it should have already completed. Are we stuck?
That means we're missing evidence. Like, we didn't pick up all the weapons.
Okay, so you gotta look for the fucking weapons. Okay, well there are a few people. So now they go looking for the weapons. I know for sure.
That's a little tedious.
It is. This is why I pointed out earlier, like, it's best if you go slow.
And do it as you're doing it. Yeah.
Yep.
Be more thorough.
Yep. And that way, when you got four guys, and you're taking your time like that, you're down to 3. You got a 3-man element. You can cover plenty of angles. You know what I mean? You can sit in that room an extra, however long 10 seconds to get the evidence and mark them, and that way you don't. Once you're done, it's because your time is a score factor too. So it may feel like you want to rush through and get through the level and do all that, but if you've missed stuff, it may take you 7 minutes to find, depending on the map. Some of them are bigger. To find a gun that flew out of something, because the physics are interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're realistic, but they're fairly realistic and interesting. The guns and knives when you shoot someone, they try to make it as realistic as possible, and sometimes they'll fly across the room, behind a bed, inside a closet door that's open.
That's definitely tedious.
Yeah. So, it makes good strategy to just take the extra 10 seconds. That's
right.
That's point 2 on the after action reports is strategy and tactics, I think that's a good point to make.
That should fall under the that particular scenario should fall under pacing, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
going at the speed that everybody can, move down or move up to. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be that speed that's efficient, where you aren't going too fast and you miss all those things, which is what all like the super killers want to do. They just want to sweep through and kill everything.
Right.
And then there's the guys that are actually trying to complete the missions, and so we're all trying to be all slow and tactical about the whole thing, yet we're trying to keep up with the other guys, so we start skipping over the little small details too.
Right. And what does that do? Number one,
it makes the end of the game tedious as fuck.
Not only that, which it does, but when someone goes too far ahead in their in a group, and your interval is too long, and you are in hostile area or contentious area, in this particular game, you have to make yourself stunned, basically, while you're making an arrest. Like you can't do anything if someone starts shooting you, really, unless
Right.
it doesn't interrupt. And the interrupt will only happen in like the first second or two. And once you get into the animation, there's no interrupt. So, yeah, if your interval is too long and you're ahead of the group, you're putting yourself, and you're going to leave the evidence and the suspect dead on the ground. See, you're leaving it for everyone else to hopefully see and pick up.
Right.
Or, which I'd say there's a 50-50 chance that they'll see it and pick it up, because like you said, if they're going that fast, you're going to try to keep up. So, but if they stay and they start doing that, then they're endangering themselves and thus the team. So,
well, there's a certain point, like I was saying, where the shooter operates, kills the target, and moves into a point position where they're protecting the guy coming in behind and
making the arresting call and clearing the evidence.
Clearing the evidence, yeah. So there's a certain tactic that you can use, so the operator just gets to do what he likes to do, which is just shoot things in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But also, if you're going far ahead and the other people are coming in behind and cleaning up those evidence and the bodies and all that stuff, all you got to do, even in those situations, is call out, body down, weapon here, and then the other person, when they show up, they can say body secured, evidence secured, and then you guys can all move on forward.
Right.
It doesn't seem that difficult to do, but it's like when you're in the action, I get it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you do get it. So, but I think these AARs help to point that out and make people aware of it. And that's.
I mean, there's definitely times where we totally follow through on all that stuff. I've seen us all do it.
Oh yeah, and when it's good and when it's polished, man, it's so amazing. Like other people are just inspired by it. You know, it's like, wow, like those guys are playing really well together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it in other groups. You know, even all the way back to like the first Xbox that I ever owned when I first played Call of Duty console. Like there were groups that were just insanely good, and it was, even if you were losing and getting your ass kicked, it was still fun to play in a match with them to see what they were going to do, because they were so well organized. But it's hard to do in the heat of the moment. That's the thing. The snap decisions, like what we saw with Roland, where I switched the camera, or I thought he was the one going through the door, but it was actually flying. But still, the reaction on Roland, I mean, it was split second. And Vinny called out where he was at. Roland looked, and immediately. So let's see what the grade on the mission is, or if they can find. At this point, they're looking for evidence.
I picked up a lot of them.
Well, all the things are red marked now.
Yeah, but
the whole setup is very real. That's why I like to do it, because
there was Tom.
Even the parts and everything are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen those exact carts before.
Yeah, that's why I like doing the post office one, because when you work for the post office, you can't say go postal. You really can't. Like, you have to sign a thing. And so I can say that I don't work for the post office. I wanted to go postal in a fucking post office, man. And it looks so real. Like, I've been to a distribution center. Even the way that stuff is, you know, the way it's just kind of on the ground.
Across the room
I've
into a bin.
worked in shipping departments before. Not the post office, but I know what shipping departments look like. I'm certified to drive one of those things right there.
Forklift.
Holidays.
Yeah, I got my OSHA certification.
Because everyone's just
I'm betting they do it every single time.
What'd you just pass for me? I saw.
Now we're just joking around. See, that's you know, that pointing. It's just a point 2 2 and 3, strategy and tactics and teamwork, and 4, communication. Like I think everyone maintained pretty damn good
That was good.
comms brevity, and because you can really tell. Because once everything has been taken care of, now everyone's kind of talking and laughing and just BSing, looking for the evidence.
Yeah.
Some people think it's like snooty or snobby when for the comms discipline thing, but it's actually the way that I see it. At least it's like more respectful. It's like I don't want to be talking over your serious conversation with this stupid game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but respect is for boomers, bro.
Okay.
It's snooty and snotty stuff for boomers.
That one's wrapped.
I'm a boomer, apparently.
Oh no.
Dude, anybody older than 35 is a boomer, bro.
It's like a magazine right here.
Excuse me.
I don't want to see hands.
Rolling, just looking for
evidence. That was.
I mean, look.
I swear I saw the thing and they were all red.
Yeah, but you get more points. See, this is Operation Poe. We were trying to do a really good job.
I see.
And to get as much points so we could get an A rating. It's actually not that easy. And you can even get an S rating, which is, I think, a nod to Hideo Kojima and Metal Gear Solid's S ratings. If you played any of the Metal Gear games, you have an A through F rating system for how well you did in espionage and like taking people out silently, whatever, not being detected, and you can get all the way up to S. So that's the highest you can get. And the same in this game. S rating is the best you can get.
There's actually a chart that everybody uses online when they're rating stuff nowadays, and S is always the
Top
super tier. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of funny because it could totally stand for shit tier, but
right.
Because everyone that's that good usually thinks they're shit anyway.
There's like a legitimate how
many guys did you kill this round?
A thing that everybody uses. It's the same template. That's what I meant. The same template that everybody uses online for
insanity that they would send
showing ratings.
To take on a gang of 18 guys.
It's an interactive template that everybody uses.
Tom just made a comment about.
That's insanity that they would send 4 police officers to take on a gang of 18 guys.
So there were 8. He makes a good point.
Right?
18 dudes in a post office. There's 4 of us. and 2 of them died.
Right?
That would still be impressive.
I wish these
like where's our helicopter cover?
These tactical games, I wish there was more of them that were more than 4 players.
Totally.
But
I mean,
it would be insane in comms trying to coordinate more than 4 people.
Well,
sitting on the toilet.
I always like elements like that because, like, you can have 20 people, like, in a comm that if you keep it concise, like, you have elements, and it's almost like just squads, but it's more than that. It's like the dynamic play that happens, the magic that happens between players when they, like, certain player, like Rad and Epo, right? Or me and you, or Doob and Ganji. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's these synergistic properties, and those, if there's more people underneath those people that are following what those people are doing, then basically we all have a good rapport in how to communicate what we're doing. And
well, I remember when we used to do that, when you could dual comm in TeamSpeak or whatever, you could, you know,
yeah, you have
be in a
hotkeys,
channel with everybody, and
whisper.
then you can be in your own TeamSpeak subsystem
Mm-hmm.
where you would speak to your team, and as the head of your team, you'd be in mutual comms with all the other heads of teams,
Right.
and you would try to coordinate that way. So there'd be like 4 guys in the head teams that was making all the decisions, and then those guys would go back and report the objectives to all the
We're
players
going to
under
have
their
to do a squad AR now because I have footage of it, and that's exactly what's built into the game. I was amazed.
They got that in this game?
It's built in, not in this game, in Squad.
Oh, I see.
And that's a massive game. So like you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
have that. You have to, because there's 256, sometimes 500 players.
Right. I've seen that game. Yeah.
It's
I want to play that game.
It's
Big time.
amazing, but like it is so intense. Like I had freaking FE flashbacks like crazy because very quickly I got accustomed to being in a complete war zone, and I'm like, no, we're not going out like this. So like I'm asking homeboy how to set stuff up and how to run the squad and how to give order. I'm like, because these guys are just not doing anything. Like fire, like. So by the end of like my first weekend session of Squad, I had learned how to do all of that. Now, if I tried to pick it up now, there's so many hotkeys and stuff to do that like I wouldn't know how to do. I'd have to relearn it. But at least I had a guy. I wish I remembered his name because maybe it's in the stream. But he completely showed me all the squad leader stuff because he saw that like. And he promoted me to squad leader very quickly. He was like, okay, cool. Got somebody that I could maybe, if I can just show him these things, then he can get people moving in the right direction and firing in the right direction. And,
When has everybody been playing these games, and why was I never invited?
Man, I got Squad. I don't remember when I got Squad.
That game's only like 6 years old, dude.
Yeah, but I couldn't afford it. Roland gifted it to me. And, and to play it, we play. I played it. Me and him played it because he gifted it to me. And then I think, I know who played it. Redman from Next Corvus Foe was playing. So this was some time ago. I don't know, maybe a year and a half. It's probably been a year and a half since I played Squad. There's been a lot of updates. That makes sense.
I wasn't particularly invited to all the post stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no, you were definitely persona non grata. I'm persona non grata now. I guess Gonaz finally saw me in the Discord and removed me. I'm not.
Oh, really?
I'm no longer in the Discord.
So you and Gonaz are completely at it. You guys are done?
I don't know. I mean, that's really. I mean, I logged into the comms and I didn't say anything. I kind of did that to see how long it would take for him to notice me there and if he would kick me for no reason.
Right.
So, and he did. So, whatever.
Could have been somebody else, I suppose, that had permissions.
That could have been, but not likely. There's just not a lot of activity there, man.
Be careful.
And Cynthia had, now the cat's out of the bag. Cynthia has been in the Discord for years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As my little sneak invite.
Of course.
Found 2 pistols.
Roland is still checking the doors, and that's a great point to bring up on strategy, because traps are a thing.
Right.
And one of the crappiest things that can happen is at the end of a mission, after you've completed all these objectives, is for you to just think that, okay, I'm opening the door. Boom! You're dead.
Right.
And then, because that's an immediate minus on points, and whatever weapon you're carrying, like the more tricked out it is, the more points are deducted. It's kind of like the same with the NPCs. The better the weapon, the more points.
Pick them up.
Well, I marked them. I bagged them.
Yeah.
So what a major pain in the ass he's having to go through here. So he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking see to it. I love him. He looks under the door. He gets up. He's like, okay, it's clear. He's looking for guns and shit. And then he's like, oh, it's locked. And he pulls the lockpick out. And then he goes back to the mirror gun. And he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I got C2. Let's watch this shit again. This is comical.
Are you picking a lock?
He's gonna see to it.
Oh, he's just like, I'm done. Beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't get to use it.
That was great.
Well, I did a full circle. What you said I missed upstairs?
Yeah, check upstairs. You go through the main lobby again.
See, these guys, I don't think knew the map as well as me. This is one of my favorite maps. I'm just feeding them info about the map. The upstairs area was our first major deal, so
I think I heard the snap.
Yep, you did.
it really can shake you up, like when your squad member dies immediately. Like, you know, it's an instant shock. It's like, oh shit, how did they die? Because you're supposed to be covering each other's ass.
So aside from picking up the evidence, it could be written report bodies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we got everything.
Pretty sure you got all. Well, go upstairs. Go up in the front. There you go. And go through that door. And then keep going straight. And then go straight in. And no, not left there. Go through that door and go left. Check everything here. This is usually where I find the heavier armed dudes. That's why I want to go up there first. Clear those couple of rooms.
That's actually the recruiting terminals. That's where you take your tests. The accuracy of these maps is crazy because that's like a little testing center that you would have at the post office to get promotions and stuff too. Like you take an initial test to get the job, and then later you take the test at the same terminals just to get promotions. Called Debbie Tuesday.
Said call James today, I think.
Call James. Look to the right of you, Roland. What's that? Is that something?
Mag.
Is that a mag? Can't do nothing with it.
He's all shooting. Gotta love rolling.
Hey, don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine. You're safe now.
Roger, entry team.
Okay, he reported that guy, so that was one. So I was right about going upstairs.
That's kind of.
That was good intel.
Civilian
Copy
secure.
that.
And another.
I'm on set. Copy, entry team.
And then we got to complete.
Was I supposed to do something besides restraining her?
Yeah, you gotta report.
Oh, you can report them in addition to restraining them, yeah.
Ah, okay.
All right, so actually, I'm not too dissatisfied with this.
Gotta be.
We gotta be. The time, see, we could have cut, if we'd have got it done in 10 or 11, 12 minutes, we'd have had an A probably.
With the same kind of completion rate?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got everything. 4 mission objectives, 18 suspects, 7 civilians. Both the downed officers were reported. You do lose points for everyone that dies, but you lose even more if you don't report it.
I see.
And evidence secured. That includes all of the weapons that everyone had. So, unauthorized use of force, two counts. But I'm not sure.
I think a B is fair.
Yeah.
I could be a little bit more critical, but overall, it wasn't terrible.
Oh,
I think.
if I was gonna, I think that's gracious. I think that's very gracious, honestly.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I mean, this is just score based, but like we've been
Right.
going through this whole video to do after action reports and talking about.
My main
stuff.
complaint is the crew delegation. Like, it just didn't seem like it seemed like you guys are just kind of wandering around at certain points. There wasn't a lot of coordination of like, hey, I'm gonna go upstairs and clear it. Why don't you guys check out this? There was just like all of a sudden one guy's upstairs clearing stuff and the other two guys are like getting in gunfights somewhere and nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
There's a few too many of those situations, and you guys got through it, but there's also 2 deaths that probably could have been avoided for the same type of reasons.
Yeah. So we covered 1 through 4 decision making. So like there should have probably been some, I guess, agreements on decision making prior to doing the mission.
Well,
maybe.
and that's what I was trying to say when you guys were at the door and taking forever to get inside. I thought that would have been a good time to say, hey, you're taking point. I'll secure all the bodies and the weapons.
Right.
And the rest of you guys cover the flanks, or the other 2 of you guys cover left and right, and then just kind of do everything in that exact tactical thing.
Right. Which is boring to some people.
It is boring, but I mean, not really.
No, it's not to me. But what I'm saying
you
is
send your Rambos off on the left and right flanks.
Exactly.
Because they're the ones that are just going to go haywire and shoot anything anyway.
You see, the Rambos want to go. They always want to expand the
right.
Well,
that's why you send them off on the flanks. You leave the point guy in the front, the guy that can discipline himself in the front. The other guy who's looking to complete